As the world sleeps tomorrow night, oblivious, 6 worlds will rise in a silent, cosmic procession across the heavens. From the western edge of the world to the highest peaks of the evening sky, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter will etch a celestial river across more than 150 degrees of profound darkness. 6 worlds, 6 ancient intelligences, aligned like sentinels holding their breath, waiting for you to lift your gaze. But you must listen, because this is the truth that will be absent from every report. This is not merely a spectacle for telescopes. This planetary gathering arrives precisely 7 days after a celestial convergence so rare, its equal has not been witnessed in all of recorded human memory. On the 20th of February, the Titans Saturn and Neptune embraced at 0 degrees Aries, the absolute genesis point of the entire zodiac. A union at this primordial degree has been dormant for over 9,000 years. The last time these two cosmic forces clasped hands at the very opening gate of Aries, our ancestors were just learning to press seeds into the earth for the very first time. The great civilizations of our world were not yet even a dream. And now, a mere 7 days since that cosmic birth, 6 planets have fallen into formation, a celestial cortege shouldering the immense gravity of that moment into our present. This is no accident of orbits. This is a continuation, an echo becoming a roar. It is a cosmic sentence that began as a 2-word whisper on February 20th and is now being inscribed across the entire vault of heaven with 6. In the coming moments, you will understand 3 truths about this alignment that the world will never know. First, the raw, physical reality of what is transpiring in the space directly above your body, and why its timing is more critical than anyone dares to admit. Second, the secret thread that weaves this 6-planet arc to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that has just fractured the bedrock of a 9,000-year cycle. And third, a tangible preparation you can begin tonight before this cosmic wave even crests that will empower you to move with this torrent of energy, instead of being torn apart by it. If you have felt a strange current coursing through you this past week, an unnameable feeling somewhere between a primal restlessness and a profound anticipation, then stay right where you are. The universe has guided your very intuition to this precise moment, for this very reason. Let me anchor this cosmic truth in the tangible, measurable reality unfolding in the sky above your head. Because this alignment is not a metaphor, it is not some vague spiritual notion. It is a physical, observable mechanism, a celestial engine turning its gears across the solar system in real time. Tomorrow evening, approximately 30 minutes after the sun bleeds below the western horizon, the heavens will begin to unveil their grand design. Low in the west, so close they seem to kiss the world's edge, Mercury and Venus will materialize as a pair, separated by a mere 5 degrees of space. Mercury, the swift messenger of our solar system, will flicker into view as a faint, trembling pulse of light, nearly devoured by the dying embers of the day. Venus, however, blazing at a magnitude of -3.9, will stake its claim on that corner of the sky, a brilliant torch held just above the world's dark horizon. Now, draw your eyes upward and to the left. There you will find Saturn, a more subdued glow than Venus, a quiet intensity that becomes undeniable once your sight settles upon it. And it is here that the celestial narrative quickens, because Saturn is not merely another spark of light in the coming darkness. 7 days ago, this ancient world consummated its union with Neptune at the sacred It was a celestial alignment so ancient that its last occurrence at this precise degree predates all known civilization. Saturn will still thrum with the deep resonance of that meeting. You can feel it. It will pulse with that energy. Like a colossal bell struck 1 week ago, its vibrations still shivering through the fabric of space and time. Now, let your gaze sweep further to the east, gliding past Uranus, a shy presence you'll need binoculars to find, nestled near the shimmering Pleiades star cluster. And past Neptune, a ghost to the naked eye, but a potent, ever-present force dwelling in the constellation of Pisces, shadowing its recent partner, Saturn. And then you will see it, high in the southeastern expanse, a beacon of light dwarfing all stars around it. You will find the king, Jupiter. Blazing at a magnitude of -2.5, it holds court in the constellation Gemini, standing between the immortal twin stars, Castor and Pollux. And tomorrow night, the moon herself, 86% full, will hover just 3.8 degrees from Jupiter's side, so close you could eclipse them both with your thumb, held out to touch the heavens. 6 worlds, 1 celestial arc, 150 degrees of night, and a swelling gibbous moon, standing sentinel beside the sovereign of our solar system. This is the story the newspapers will print, This is the shallow spectacle the headlines will announce. But what they will not tell you, what they cannot tell you, is the profound cosmic context into which this alignment is born. 7 days ago, on the 20th of February, Saturn and Neptune merged in a precise conjunction at 0 degrees and 45 minutes of Aries. To grasp the enormity of this, you must first feel the meaning of 0 degrees Aries in your very bones. In the sacred language of the cosmos, 0 Aries is the genesis point. It is the first degree of the first sign, the place where the great wheel of the zodiac draws its very first breath. Each year, when our sun crosses this exact point, we feel its power on Earth as the vernal equinox, that sacred moment of equilibrium when light and shadow stand as equals, just before the light surges forth to claim victory. It is the universe pressing its great seal upon a new cycle, the inhalation before a new age begins. A meeting between Saturn and Neptune at this genesis point has never, not once, occurred in all of written human history. The last time was roughly 7,000 years before the Common Era. To truly comprehend that abyss of time, understand this. When these two titans last embraced at 0 Aries, the Sahara Desert was a lush, green paradise. Vast forests and shimmering lakes sprawled across the land that is now the largest and most desolate desert on our planet. Our ancestors were taking their first tentative steps away from the nomadic hunt, learning to trust the soil with their future. The very idea of a city was not even a whisper on the wind, before the first word was ever etched into stone, before the very concept of the wheel sparked in a human mind. An event of that magnitude just shook the foundations of our world. And now, this gathering of 6 worlds is not some isolated spectacle. It is the first deliberate, lung-filling breath the cosmos has taken since that cataclysmic joining. Picture it like this. If the cosmic collision of Saturn and Neptune on February 20th was a deafening crack of thunder that split the sky, then this alignment of 6 planets is the torrential, cleansing deluge that was promised in that sound. Nearly 4,000 years ago, the Babylonians, architects of the most ancient system for watching the heavens, knew a profound truth that our fleeting modern headlines have tragically forgotten. They etched over 7,000 celestial warnings and prophecies onto 70 cuneiform tablets, a sacred library of cosmic intent known as the Enuma, Anu, Enlil. You must understand, for them, the planets were never mere ornaments in the night. They were breathing, sentient envoys. Jupiter was the very presence of Marduk, the sovereign of all gods. Venus was the dual-edged soul of Ishtar, goddess of both passionate love and brutal war. Saturn embodied Ninurta, the unyielding guardian of cosmic justice. Mercury was Nabu, the celestial scribe whose quill chronicled the edicts of heaven itself. When these divine powers assembled in the sky at once, the Babylonian priests felt no impulse to admire the beauty. They were deciphering a message. They knew that when the heavens spoke with a unified voice, the earth was not being asked, it was being commanded. And when they witnessed multiple worlds tracing a single, luminous path across the celestial dome, stretching from the edge of the world to its very peak, they named it a celestial decree. This was no mere suggestion. It was an irrevocable verdict, something the gods had forged in unison. It was a judgment inscribed across the firmament, in a language more ancient than any alphabet, delivered only to those with the vision to see and the inner silence to hear it. But you do not need the robes of a Babylonian priest to feel the tremors of what is now unfolding. Your own body may already be screaming the truth at you. In the week since Saturn and Neptune converged, a current of profound and unshakable restlessness has surged through so many of us, a phantom pressure in the chest that defies all medical reason. Have you been waking at 3 or 4 in the morning? Your body jolted into a state of high alert, vibrating with the certainty that something monumental is imminent. Have your dreams felt less like fantasies and more like echoes of forgotten memories? Have figures from your deepest past materialized without warning? Has a song, dormant in your mind for years, suddenly become the soundtrack to your every move? These are not coincidences. Your body is a finely tuned celestial instrument, and it has been resonating with the frequencies of this cosmic symphony, whether your conscious mind has been listening or not. The convergence of Saturn and Neptune initiated a seismic shift far below the surface of your reality. The very bedrock of your life has begun to fracture. Those comfortable illusions you wrapped yourself in are now dissolving into mist. And now, as all 6 worlds march into formation across the heavens, this raw energy is not dissipating. It is growing exponentially. But this is the critical juncture. This is why the alignment is not a spectacle to be observed, but a force to be braced for. This celestial arc, forged by 6 worlds, does not exist in a vacuum. It is the second act of a three-part cosmic drama that commenced on February 20th with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and which will reach its crescendo on March 3rd, with a total lunar eclipse at 12 degrees of Virgo. 3 events, 3 sacred gateways, a conjunction, an alignment, an eclipse. The first act is already written. The Saturn-Neptune union shattered the seal on a cycle that has governed our world for 36 years. The last time these titans met was in 1989. The world born from that celestial pact became the very fabric of reality for most of our lives. That cycle is now finished. A new era has been decreed, its birth announced from the most potent throne in the entire zodiac. The ground supporting that old world is turning to quicksand. The second act is what you are about to live through tomorrow night. The alignment, all 6 celestial powers, arranged in one unbroken, luminous chain. Each planet vibrates with its own unique frequency, its own primordial purpose, its own penetrating question aimed directly at the core of your existence. This is the instant the soil starts to heave, as everything buried by the conjunction begins to claw its way toward the light. And the third act, the eclipse on March 3rd, that will be the moment the old shell of your life shatters completely. Whatever has been concealed, whatever has been denied, whatever truth you have forced into the shadows will no longer be silenced. Do not mistake this for a threat. This is cosmic precision. The universe does not exist to punish. It exists to reveal. And what it is exposing right now, through this breathtaking sequence, are the fragile structures in your life that you have built upon shifting sand. I do not come to unmake you, but to carve into your very marrow the unshakable bedrock where your true strength must rise. Therefore, when the day bleeds into night tomorrow, a mere 30 minutes after the sun has surrendered its light, and you turn your face to the western wound of the sky, you will feel Venus, a brilliant scar burning low, and Saturn, a stoic guardian, holding its watch just beyond. And as you see Jupiter blazing in the east, the moon, its faithful companion, I urge you to comprehend what you are truly witnessing. You are not merely observing a beautiful pattern of distant lights. You are standing within the very heart of a sentence the cosmos has been composing since before the first city rose from the dust, before the first letter was ever carved into clay. And that sentence is addressed directly to you. Yet, simply knowing this is not enough. The only question that truly matters now is what you will do in response. And that is precisely what we must now confront. Because this alignment is not a passive event. It carries a distinct energy, a sacred invitation. And if you can truly grasp what it is demanding of you, the next 30 days of your life could completely rewrite the story of the last 30 years. Each of the 6 worlds participating in tomorrow night's sacred alignment radiates a unique and powerful frequency. And as these celestial bodies converge, know that their energies do not simply merge into a singular, chaotic signal. No, they stack, they weave, they resonate. Imagine 6 ancient voices, each sounding a distinct, primal note, yet forging a single, resonant chord that vibrates in the core of your being. To truly comprehend the summons this convergence poses to your soul, you must first learn to isolate each voice from the cosmic choir. Begin where this celestial procession ignites, down at the bruised edge of the western sky, with Mercury. Since time immemorial, this is the traveler, the bridge between realms, the one entrusted to carry divine edicts into the world of mortals, and to bear the trembling prayers of humanity back to the heavens. On the coming night, you will see Mercury poised at the very base of this celestial arc, a mere glimmer, nearly consumed by the dying embers of the day. This position is no accident. It is a deliberate stage. Mercury is not screaming for your attention. It is a murmur in your blood. And its hushed message is this: confront the words you have exiled to silence. Face the conversation you have endlessly, dangerously deferred. Acknowledge the truth that forms on your tongue, the one you choke back down into the darkness of your own throat again and again. From its perch on the precipice of sight, Mercury reveals a fundamental law. Some revelations only surrender themselves when you dare to gaze into the deepest shadows, where the light falters and fails. And beside this fleeting messenger, Venus ignites the twilight, a defiant, brilliant blaze. Venus has forever been the celestial embodiment of our deepest cravings, the things we assign ultimate worth to, the passions for which we would gladly forsake all sanctuary. Within this cosmic formation, Venus is on a determined ascent. Though she still clings low to the horizon's curve, her climb is undeniable, a steady gathering of power in the heavens with each passing night. You are witnessing Venus in her glorious climb, transforming from a memory into a commanding presence in the dusk. And her demand of you is terrifyingly simple. What is the truest longing of your heart? She will not accept the compromises you have made, nor the hollow reassurances that this is good enough. She scoffs at the life you painstakingly constructed to win the approval of others. She demands to know, what do you, in the very marrow of your bones, ache for? From this vantage, Venus rejects all your prepared speeches. Now, lift your gaze higher and feel the immense gravity of Saturn, the great cosmic arbiter. This is the world that marks its journey not in days, but in decades. Taking 29.5 years to carve one path around the sun, Saturn's pace is deliberate, for its currency is not the fleeting moment. It trades in foundations, in the unyielding logic of consequence, in the bedrock truths that only emerge from the crucible of a lifetime. And know this, Saturn is still humming with the aftershock of its meeting with Neptune, a conjunction that occurred at the genesis point of the zodiac, 0 Aries, just 1 week ago. That power now radiates directly toward you. That cosmic union posed a soul-shattering inquiry. What part of your reality is anchored in fantasy? What edifice in your life do you tirelessly maintain, not from a place of truth, but because the terror of its collapse requires a bravery you have yet to find? In this moment, Saturn is not commanding you to tear anything down. Its sole demand is that you stop pretending the ruins at your feet are still a fortress. Now, turn your eyes to the east. There, high above, is Jupiter, a brilliant, undeniable fire in the night. Behold the King of Worlds, the largest planet in our celestial family, a beacon so potent it outshines all stars, second only to the moon. Jupiter has always governed the realm of expansion, the search for a higher purpose, the grand narrative you weave to give your existence weight and meaning. Nestled now within the constellation of the Twins, flanked by its celestial brothers, Jupiter issues a challenge to grow. But it does not speak of expanding your empire of things, or the frantic pace of your days. It commands an expansion of your very soul, of your comprehension. A magnificent, intricate pattern is being woven through the fabric of your life. But you have been standing too close, your face pressed against the threads, lost in the texture of the mundane, until the grand design became invisible. Jupiter, in this alignment, is the summit. It is the treacherous mountain you must ascend to finally gaze down upon the valley you have wandered through for so long. And from that breathtaking altitude, the true path is revealed in all its clarity. Yet, stationed between these luminous guardians, Uranus and Neptune maintain a profound, mysterious silence. Uranus drifts near the Pleiades, that hallowed star cluster whispered about in the myths of nearly every earthly culture. And Neptune, a ghost near Saturn, unseen but deeply felt, the lord of dreams and dissolution, the sovereign of all that resides just beyond the grasp of your proof. These two worlds do not pose questions to you. They are the question. They embody the sacred uncertainty, the swirling mists, the exquisite and terrifying abyss that separates the self you were from the self you are destined to become. These 6 celestial frequencies are now converging, composing a singular, undeniable command. You must shatter the fiction of your life, the one that no longer resonates with the fundamental truth of who you are. And here is where this cosmic symphony becomes a tangible imperative, for the universe does not demand passive observation. It demands your active participation. Between this very night and the total lunar eclipse on March 3rd, you are walking through a 5-day corridor of immense and volatile power. Every action you take within this passage is not merely symbolic, it is architectural. The foundations you lay now, the choices that you carve into reality, the truths you finally give voice to, all will be magnified by the coming eclipse with a force that half-hearted wishes could never hope to achieve. Therefore, listen closely to what you must do. This is not a gentle suggestion, it is a sacred protocol. 5 nights, 5 deliberate actions, each one tethered to the unique energetic signature of its moment within this celestial gateway. Tonight, February 26th, before the alignment even crests, you will procure a physical sheet of paper, one that your fingers can feel, that can hold an imprint, and a pen that feels substantial in your grasp. Find a space of profound stillness and inscribe these words at the very top of that page. The foundational lie of my life is, and then you will complete it. Do not allow your mind to interfere. Do not censor. Banish all diplomacy with your own soul. Understand the gravity of this moment. Saturn and Neptune have just converged at the most potent, generative degree in all the heavens, a meeting that has not occurred since before the first cities of humankind rose from the dust of the earth. The season for negotiating with your own spirit has closed. You must now spill the truth onto the page. Then, fold this raw confession and anchor it beneath something of immense weight. A heavy tome, a river stone, an object that knows pressure. Let it lay there, compressed and waiting, like a seed forced deep into the soil. Tomorrow, on the night of February 27th, the very moment the celestial spheres align, you must step into the world 30 minutes after the sun has bled from the sky. Turn your body to the west. Your eyes will find Venus first. She will burn as the brightest ember in the low sky. Then, lift your gaze to find Saturn hanging just above her. Now pivot to the east and witness Jupiter, with the moon as its silent companion. Remain rooted to that spot for no less than 3 minutes of profound silence. Do not allow your gaze to falter from the heavens. Inhale the cosmic current. Let the great arc of the heavens pour into your very cells. 3 minutes of absolute stillness, bathed in the light of 6 worlds. That is the only requirement. Let your flesh and bone record what your consciousness cannot yet articulate. On February 28th, in the dawn that follows the alignment, before a single word escapes your lips, before your eyes fall upon any chronicle of the world's chaos, you will sit in silence for 7 minutes. Simply draw breath in through the nose and release it from the mouth. 7 minutes. Within that sacred quiet, a single image or a solitary word will rise from the depths. It will feel arbitrary. It is anything but. Inscribe it on the other side of that same paper, the vessel of your first night's truth. On March 1st, 2 days before the shadow falls upon the moon, go outside and press your bare feet into the planet. Grass, soil, stone, it must be the true skin of the earth. Stand there for 3 minutes and speak one sentence into the air. I am ready to release what is no longer true. Utter it once, infusing it with all your will, then turn and depart without a backward glance at the ground that heard your vow. On March 2nd, the eve of the eclipse, take up the paper that has become your testament. Read both sides aloud, the untruth you unearthed and the symbol that answered it from the void. Holding the paper in your hands, you will tear it in half, not with violence, but with a slow, deliberate motion, as if you are separating 2 timelines. The existence you have been living from the one that is waiting to be born. Place one half of this story beneath your pillow. The other half must be given to an element. Consign it safely to flame or release it into the current of living water. Let it dissolve. On March 3rd, the total lunar eclipse at 12 degrees Virgo will complete the work. The moon will journey through the Earth's shadow, and in that passage, it will turn the color of blood and forged copper. This is not a poet's metaphor. This is the physics of transformation. The light itself will bend, and on that morning, at 6:38 Eastern Time, the eclipse will achieve its zenith. Whatever you gave a name to on that paper, whatever truth you finally permitted to breathe, the eclipse will cauterize it into your reality. Not through punishment, but with profound permission. The permission to finally drop the crushing weight that was never yours to bear. This 5-night communion is no hollow ritual devised for digital praise. It is a living answer, a direct response to a sacred cosmic choreography. The convergence, the arc, the eclipse, a drama in 3 acts, and you are not in the audience. You are the protagonist. But there is one final piece of this tapestry you must grasp before this chapter concludes. For what hurtles toward us after March 3rd, what this entire sequence is forging, is not a conclusion. It is a threshold. And what awaits you on the other side of that threshold is determined entirely by this. Will you step through it with your eyes torn open or clenched shut? A question has stalked humanity since the first beings stared into the star-dusted void and felt a tremor in their bones. It is not, why are we here? The question that truly shatters and remakes a life is smaller, quieter, and infinitely more potent. What am I waiting for? Every soul hearing this voice carries something they have deferred. A confrontation, a verdict, a version of themselves they have only witnessed in brutal moments of honesty, before burying it again beneath the mundane. You feel its shape inside you now. You have always felt it. This cosmic event is not inventing that awareness. It is vaporizing your final excuse for pretending ignorance. 9 millennia ago, the last time Saturn and Neptune held this same celestial court, human beings made a choice that rewrote our species. They ceased their wandering and began to build. They pressed one solitary seed into the earth and made the radical decision to stay, to wait for its becoming. This is the blueprint for all great transformation. A single, honest act, repeated. Tomorrow night, 6 planets will blaze a path across your sky. The moon will stand beside Jupiter, a silent witness to your oath. And somewhere beneath that celestial architecture, your own 2 feet will be planted. The very same sky that bore witness to the first builders, the first visionaries who dared to remain long enough to manifest something enduring it. That ancient sky is watching you now, and it breathes the only question that has ever truly mattered. What will you build with the time you have been given? If a current moved through you tonight, let your words be a testament. They might become the very signal another soul has been praying for. If there is a person in your life whose spirit must hear this, trust the name that just bloomed in your mind and send this message to them. Stay vigilant, for tomorrow night, we will journey through the six-planet spectacle as it unfolds across the heavens. A celestial congress that convenes only once every 20 years. Every transmission is born from hours of deep listening, and your engagement breathes life into this work. The universe has delivered its missive. What is born next rests entirely in your hands.